Let me give you guys a super bearish possibility for crypto for the altcoin market. Now, this isn't a prediction, although it kind of is, but it is a possibility that you need to be prepared for, and that's the altcoin market is heading towards close to zero. So let's get into it. Now, if we look at Bitcoin, maybe we topped for the cycle, but it looks like a strong asset, right? If that was the top of the cycle, we still made 60% higher almost. Pretty sick, right? This is just looks like a strong asset. Even if that was the top of the cycle, maybe we go, well, I don't know where we go. Maybe this is as low as we go. Maybe we go down here. I don't know. But if we get off of Bitcoin, we get off the total chart, we get off the total 3 chart. Let's go. Actually, hang on. Let's stick with total 3 for a moment. Okay. And we're going to go to others. Now, if we look at total 3, I don't really love that it failed to make a new all-time high. What is total 3? It's the market cap outside of Bitcoin and ETH. Failed to make a new all-time high. That's interesting. Well, it made a new all-time high, but it failed at it. Possible double top. Now, if we look at others, though, others did not make a new all-time high. And if you still believe in the 4-year cycles, this was probably the top of this cycle. Now, it's possible that before the end of the year, we make a new all-time high. I think it's very, very unlikely. And a lot of that is just time. I'm recording this in March. You're gonna see it in March. The summers are slow. And bearish usually. The idea that we're gonna make it back to all-time highs this year is unrealistic, but possible, which would make this the top of the cycle. And if the top of the cycle is a lower high, wouldn't it mean it's possible we make a lower low? And if we're making a lower low, it's over, folks. It just doesn't, this doesn't look like a healthy, strong asset, right? It looks like a double top, possibly. Looks like a bubble. I've been telling you guys for a long time, altcoins aren't a good investment. They can make good trades. I trade altcoins with the bots. I only invest in the strongest ones. And here's the thing as well. You have the market cap doesn't look great, but you know what is going to the moon? You know what's mooning right now? The number of tokens. So even like you go to any altcoin chart, for the most part, they look even worse than this. Because this is with liquidity spreading into new projects and new tokens. So we have this scenario where there's significant dilution on top of a weak market already. So considering we made a lower high, it seems possible if you still believe in the 4-year cycle, lower high, we would make a lower low. And of course it wouldn't look like that. It might look like this. Who knows? Who knows, right? But the point is, the immediate future doesn't need to look anything like the immediate past. Something I'm going to be talking about a lot and want to point to is the possibility of something like what happened to Japan in the 90s. Isn't this what the US stock market looks like right now? And then what happened? We had how long to the bottom of the bear market, actually? That's, it topped in 89 and it bottomed in 2008. So it was a 19-year bear market. And from '08, it did make a new all-time high after only 35 years, 34 years. So what are you going to do if something like this happens? Why did this happen, by the way? Um, there were similar conditions, but one of the major change things that happened was demographic change. Lower fertility rate and older population is one of the things that happened here, which is something that we're seeing. Why does that cause the market to top? Because there's more disbursements and there's less passive buying when you have an older population. And one of the issues in America, as well as millennials and Gen Z, don't feel as wealthy. They don't have as many 401ks. We don't have as many pensions. There's less passive buying that we're doing. We're still doing passive buying, but there's less than the boomers. So, I mean, let's go ahead and look. Look at this. It's insane, right? It's like going up forever, new paradigm. Well, what does the Nasdaq look like on the weekly? This is not right. What's going on? Oh, okay, because it stops at 1990. Isn't this what the Nasdaq looks like right now? I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just saying to be prepared. Other possibilities, market neutral strategies, adapt, look back in the history of things that happened. People want to look back at the last 4 years and think that's all that happened. Well, 2000 to 2002, the Nasdaq drew down 85%. That could happen. If we look at the Buffett indicator, let's look at the Buffett indicator. Here we are now. So it measures, I need to get going. It measures the stock market compared to GDP. They should be relatively linked. Well, it's two standard, at December 31, it was two standard deviations above the historical trend line. And it could come down almost 50% to be historically normalized. And it could come down like 75% or more to just be undervalued. And what that might look like would be, how far down would that be? Price range for the NASDAQ, 50, 75. 75 from the, back down to the COVID low. That would be crazy. Anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. My best tool here is simply the 200 moving average. I like it on the daily. I have it on the weekly on this chart. But you got to believe something like this can happen. Not that it will. And how long did it spend under the 200 weekly? A lot of time. And there were some rallies that happened. As far as the 200 daily, though, let's go back. So, I mean, this was a strong asset too, the Nikkei. And we're talking about shit coins, man. We are talking about shitcoins. So I'm just telling y'all to be careful. Whatever you think, let me know. Comment down below. Am I too bearish? You tell me.